Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Vattama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 8, prayers by Kunti Maharani, verse number 28. Manye tvam kalameshanam anadi nidanam vibhum samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yanmitah kalihi. Manye tvam kalameshanam anadi nidanam vibhum samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yanmitah kalihi. Manye, I consider, Tvam, your lordships, Kalam, the eternal time, Ishanam, the supreme Lord, Anadinidanam, without beginning and end, Vibhum, all pervading, Samam, equally merciful, Charantam, distributing, Sarvatra, everywhere, Bhutanam, of the living beings, Yat mitaha, by intercourse, Kalihi, dissension. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Jagadu Srila Prabhupada. My Lord, I consider your lordships to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, and the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse. Translation with repetition. My Lord, I consider your lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, and the all-pervasive one. The distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings or due to social intercourse? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Kunti Devi knew that Krishna was neither her nephew nor an ordinary family member of her paternal house. She knew perfectly well that Krishna is the primeval Lord who lives in everyone's heart as the super soul, Paramatma. Another name of the Paramatma feature of the Lord is called Kala, or eternal time. Eternal time is the witness of all our actions, good and bad, and thus resultant actions are destined by Him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeed for which we may suffer at present moment, but we must remember that Paramatma is our constant companion, and therefore He knows everything, past, present and future. And because the Paramatma feature of the Lord Krishna disdains all actions and reactions, He is supreme controller also. Without His sanction, not a blade of grass can move. The living beings are given Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Chintaya Goranga ki. The living beings are given freedom as much. The devotees of the Lord are the misuse of their freedom, and therefore they are good. The devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom, and therefore they are good sons of the Lord. Others who misuse freedom are put into miseries destined by the eternal Kala. The Kala offers so gained by Kala. No one is therefore either an enemy or a friend of the Lord. Everyone is suffering and enjoying the results of their own destiny. This destiny is made by the living beings in course of social intercourse. Everyone here wants to lord over the material nature, and thus everyone creates his own destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He is all pervading, and therefore He can see everyone's activities. And because the Lord has no beginning or end, He is known also the eternal time, Kala. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Nena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadankitam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta Vrunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, today the point of discussion is the impersonal form of the Lord, the force of the Lord, Kala. So recently I went to a gathering. They invited me, a family. They lost their father, so all of them invited me for small kirtan. I went there. After the kirtan, I asked them, do you have any questions? One old gentleman, he asked me one question, very important. Swamiji, I am seeing so many misfortunate things so many cruel things in this world. So many people are killing somebody, so many people are abusing the women, so many people are abusing the children, child abuse increasing. You are saying Lord knows everything, Lord is the cause of everything. Without Lord's sanction, grass also, small piece of grass also doesn't move. Then why Lord is not getting into these people, changing their heart? Why Lord is not taking control over the situation? And he is very sincerely asking. He wanted to know that. So what is the answer? So you think about this during the class, and then we'll discuss at the end. So now in this, Kunti Maharani is saying, Manyetvam Kalamishanam Anadi Nidanam Vibhum. My Lord, your Lordship in the form of Kala, and you don't have beginning and end, and you are all pervading, and you are equally merciful to everybody and distributing everywhere mercy. So the distinctions in this world not understanding about you. So what is this mechanism? What is this Kala? Kala is an impersonal force of the Lord which is driving each and every activity, event happening in this world. So if you see Srimad Bhagavad Gita introduction, if you have Srimad Bhagavad Gita introduction, you can see in that how this architecture of this universe. There will be a Kala directing the Prakriti, three modes. Three modes are facilitating for Jiva, for his enjoyment and suffering. This is what happening, right? There is a Kala directs three modes facilitates for Jiva's experiences, either happiness or distress. But who is responsible for happiness and distress is Jiva. Jiva is responsible for happiness and distress. Right? So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in 11.32, Kalosmi lokakshayakrit pravruddho lokan samahartum iha pravruttaha rutepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve e vastitaha prati anikeshu yodaha. So he is saying, I am the eternal time and destroyer of this world. See, Krishna is telling destroyer of this world. What does it mean? So if you see whole architecture, what happens in 13th chapter, Krishna explains whole thing how it happens. There are so many jivas. For example, you take one jiva. Prabhupada also says, and Prabhupada says, we can understand Lord easily if you can understand yourself. Lord is a Vibhu and we are Anu. If you understand your characteristics properly, and you can understand Lord's characteristics easily. So Jiva desires, once Jiva desires, all these desires are recorded by Paramatma. Paramatma is a very compassionate father of Jiva. Whatever you desire, and Paramatma wanted to satisfy your desire. So it records all the desire, and all these desires are recorded and made as a package, and this package is given to Kala. Of course, Kala is a force of Lord's only, Lord only executing. So this whole a package, you can say a story, and the story is already nicely planned. For example, a Jiva is leaving this body, that means his destination, his next body is also finalized and he will move. This Prabhupada says in one of the purports. Similarly, if you see whole cosmic manifestation, so many jivas are there. So all these jivas' desires are being put into a different stories, and integrate all these stories, and a creation is planned by Lord in the form of eternal time. That's the reason what is happening here is already planned. Of course, it is not executed, it's planned. That means your karma is planned. So Jiva suffering and enjoying, all these things planned. After 1000 years, what is the situation of us? Of course, if you go back to Lord, nobody can say. But if you don't go back to the Lord, your situation is planned after 1000 years. This is what happening. All these things is done by Kala. Kala is the representation of Lord in impersonal form. Just like movie, whole thing is real, everything, all the films we have integrated, edited, everything is planned. Just switch on the button. Once you switch on the button, you no need to see what is going to happen. It will go on automatically. That's what happening. So Lord switched on button by his glance. That's what material world created, material world is running, material world is executing, material world is annihilating, creating, annihilating. Bhutva pralayata is happening. This is what happened. There is a nice Upanishad, it's called Kathopanishad. So Kathopanishad talks about this Kala and this Atma, about Atma. So in this Upanishads, the Upanishads are actually spiritual essence of Vedas. So Upanishads always have so many stories. Stories means it's history, it is not story, not a fiction. So Kathopanishad, one of the Upanishads talks about Atma, and Kathopanishad, one of the Upanishads talks about Kala, and talks about why a Jiva, how at the so many questions and answers, how Jiva, how it travels, transmigration, all these things. In this Upanishad, there is a character, there is a person, there is a boy called Nachiketa. Nachiketa. Prabhupada also quotes many places Kathopanishad. If you go and refer that. Even important shlokas Prabhupada quotes this. This Nachiketa is a small boy. He is a son of a Muni called Vrajashravasa. This Vrajashravasa want to get boons from demigods. He started doing one yajna. It's called Vishwajit yajna. This Vishwajit yajna means all the possessions, whatever you have to give it to demigods. Now Vishwajit yajna, previously your possessions are calculated based on number of cows you have. This is your main property. So he started giving the cows, but this Nachiketa is observing his father is only giving the old cows and the cows which are not giving milk. All nice cows he is keeping. So he observes that. And Nachiketa knows philosophy because he is a Brahmana boy. And he went to ask his father, Father, you have to give all the possessions to demigods, right? Then what is your plan for me? Are you going to give me to someone whom you are going to give me? Then father is already, father is little fruitive. So father is already doing something, he is coming and asking. And father gets angry. One time he asks, second time he asks, third time he gets angry. So anybody gets angry in our olden days, Chavra nuvu. And we say no. Similarly, his father is saying, I will send you to Yama. So when father said Yama, then he took it seriously. Then Nachiketa pays obeisance to his father and went to Yama. He went to Yamaloka. Of course, those days interplanetary transfers is there. Today we are struggling to go to moon. And celebrating going to moon, sending an instrument. But those days it was not like that. Those days interplanetary systems were there. So he went to Yama, and Yama was not there, and those gatekeepers didn't allow him to come. This Brahmana boy sitting outside the gate for 3 days, continuously not eating anything. Then Yamadharmaraj comes and sees this Brahmana. Then came to know that this Brahmana boy is there for 3 days and nobody took care of him. So he was a little sympathetic and repenting and asked this Brahmana, my dear boy, why you came and what do you want? Because you were tapasya, I wanted to give 3 boons to you. You ask whatever you want. Then he asked 3 boons. Very important boons. Of course, not 3, one is very important. One is he wanted to, when he goes back to his father should not shout at him and he should not be anxious about him. So he wanted to take care of his father. So he asked, cool down my father. So he said, okay, cool down. Granted. Second is he wanted to learn ritualistic, he wanted to learn 5 sacrifices, how to perfectly perform the 5 sacrifice to reach the self-realization, to reach the goal. Of course, this boy is not, he is interested in learning the yajnas, like how we are interested in enunciated. No, I want to do this, like that he is interested. Then third point he asks, what happens at the time of death? Do you have continuity of life or not? What happens to us? This is the 3 questions he asks. The third question, Yamadharmaraj doesn't want to say, because he's a small boy. What kind of philosophy will understand? We will not be able to understand, no? You are not matured, you don't have anything, so what he will be understanding? So, Yamadharmaraj says, okay, maybe asking out of curiosity, so many deaths you would have seen. So, now he wanted him to divert his attention by giving so many materialistic things. Wine and women, all these things, of course. I don't know wine they gave, but enjoyment things. But Nachiketa is stick to his question, just like Dhruva Maharaj. So many things Narada is telling, no, you cannot do. So many vultures will be there in the forest. If you go, they will eat away. Then Dhruva Maharaj says, no. If you can give me solution, give me. Otherwise, leave it. I am going to do tapasya for Vishnu. Like that, this boy is stick to this question answer. Many of us has this question that what happens to death? Once I remember, one of our very close relative died. One of my cousin came to me. His inquisitiveness so much. What happens after death? He is asking me. He wanted to know after death what happens. So everybody has this inquisitiveness because we have seen these people and surrounding us, so many close dear friends, and meet them every time. All of a sudden, next day we'll see this person is not there, died, death body is there. Recently, I was hearing one incident. One of our marketing executive, and she was actually very instrumental in getting money for Mangalgiri kitchen. So she was fine with her husband, and morning she took care, and husband dropped her at airport, and she went to Varanasi, where we are opening our kitchen. Varanasi or Dehradun, where we are opening kitchen. She went to the Dehradun morning, and at around 11 o'clock she got a call saying that husband is died. Everything is fine. Night she nicely spoke to him, and morning she spoke to him, and everything nice, everything going on nice. All of a sudden he died. Heart attack. So these kind of situations we see so many, right? All of us would have experienced these things. So many Buddhas are here. But we are real Buddha, not Lord Buddha. We don't understand, and we continue with our life. We don't even think about what is happening. That minute you will think, okay, oh, it's natural, everybody die. Okay, you are also going to die, but you never think about that. Dehapta kalatradishu atma saineshu asassapi pramatta nidanam prasyannapi pashyati. We don't even recognize, think about this. We think all surrounding us is our bread and butter. One day you have to leave this place, and every day you are leaving this place is kalakshaya. Every day you are getting killed. You don't understand this. So why we don't understand, Krishna explains in 15th chapter. I will be talking about this. Why we are unable to understand we are a soul, and why we are unable to think that we are going to die one day, and no planning, we don't make any plan. Why? 15th chapter Krishna explains this. I will be going to explain you that. So this Nachiketa asked this question. Then Yamadharmaraj gave so many intensives to him, but Nachiketa doesn't want all intensive. He want only the answer to the question. Then he started explaining. This is just like how Krishna explains to Arjuna the 2nd chapter. All these questions, all these things, it's explained here. Nachiketa, Yamadharmaraj says, the spirit soul is eternal. So we are a spirit soul, and the spirit soul is eternal, and there is no birth to spirit soul, there is no death to spirit soul. According to the karma, according to the activities it performed, it will take another body. And it continues to the body. Once you get a human form of life, the goal of human form of life is to know the Atma. And there is one more higher personality in the body, is Paramatma. The spirit soul knows everything. It is full of knowledge. It's conscious of everything in the body. Same thing Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. Where Krishna explains about this? Anybody? It's famous. Spirit soul is eternal. Spirit soul is no death. Spirit soul is no birth. Where it is explained? What's the number, you tell me? Sarvagataha means he is there everywhere. I am talking about eternal. Somebody told already, but I want what's number. Quickly. Famous verse. Famous verse. Yeah, full sloka you tell. Full sloka. Yeah, 2.20. If you have mobiles, you open it. Najayate mriyate va kadasin nayam bhutva bhavitava nabhuyaha adyo nityaha shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane serire. Understand? You don't have mobiles? Open that. Open that. So here Krishna is saying, the person who is there inside the body, he will not take birth, never take birth, never dies at any time, past, future, present, and aja nichyaha shashvatoyam, unborn, nityaha, eternal. He is telling 2 times unborn. There is no birth. Nityaha is telling eternal. Shashvataha, permanent. And Puranaha, the oldest person. Nahanyate, nobody can kill him, he will not get killed. Hanyamane serire. When your body is killed, he is not killed. Who is that person? That is the person of, that is soul. So recently, last Sunday in Telugu class, I told very important concept. This is about how soul aware of everything. Soul is full of knowledge. Soul is full knowledge. Okay. Soul is full of knowledge, which means it knows everything in the body. Of course, externally something, whatever it is. It's very, very important to know this. Prabhupada says in the 2.17 purport. Just I was actually doing little research on that. How do we relieve from pain? Pain relievers. So if you take a pain reliever, you get a pain somewhere. How does this medicine works? For example, if you get a pain somewhere, if somebody would have heard on Sunday class, don't tell, others can hear. So if you get a pain here, some pain, how does it that pain reliever works? As soon as you get a pain, there will be a signal from the place. To whom? To whom you will get signal? To the soul. So when there is a pain, so that pain, the nerves in the pain, ending nerves, prostaglandin, one signal they release, saying that I am getting pain. Then immediately you will be alerted to take some action. Now if you see this concept, in our body there are 37.2 trillion cells are there. 37.2 trillion cells. So soul knows 37.2 trillion locations, everything. It has that memory. How much memory we have? We don't even remember what happens 1 minute before. Sometimes we wonder whether we have taken arati or not. So that is our memory capacity. But soul knows 37.2 trillion cells positions. Otherwise how? Say for example, if I hit here, how soul directs you go there? That means it should know left hand or left hand palm there is a hit. So imagine super soul. Super soul knows all the souls. That means 37.2 trillion, say human beings around 800 million, 800 billion people are there in the world. So 800 billion people, all 800 billion into 37.2 crore. How much it comes? So big. You can't even imagine. Aprameya. Really immeasurable. In the smallest part or biggest part also. We cannot conceive. So that is the capacity of the Lord. And that is the capacity of the Jiva also. Jiva is also Chitkanaha. It is a small particle of the Lord. With all the characteristics of the Lord with less quantity. So it knows everything what is happening in the body. Generally, science says, for example, anything happens, it will go to brain. Brain direct. They know only up to the brain, but who is the person inside is directing, who is carrying, is not the brain, is the soul. Soul is aware of everything. Of course, little advanced, it is super soul, helping soul. So this is the mechanism is happening, and there is a soul inside the body. So understanding this soul is only the work of human being, no work. We don't have any kind of work. Only understanding this Atma is only our work. All other works are secondary works. Primary work is to understand Atma. So we have to put effort to understand the who am I, Atma. So now to come to the point, the question, what that person asked me. He asked me when I went, Swamiji, so many bad things is happening in the world. Why Lord is not making all the bad things into good? Why he is not getting inside? Why he is not taking control? What is your answer? Why Lord is not entering into? Why is not Lord taking care? Yes, why Lord is not taking care? Tell. Huh? Free will. Free will. Karma adds. Free will, karma. Some more? Why Lord is not? Lord can do anything. Now say generally a person comes to you. You say, Lord, without Lord's sanction, a grass is also not moving. You saying no. Without Lord's sanction, grass is also not moving. Then why? So many wars, so many misfortunate things are happening in the world. Why Lord is not interfering into this? Desire of the Jiva. What else? Desire also can change, no? Your desire you can change, no? Make a good desire. I am asking only good. Why? What answer you can give as a spiritualist? Appropriate answer you should give. So that Prabhupada says realization means understanding and able to explain to the common people. It's a basic question. I think this question would have been asked by everyone. Most of the people we go, they will say, why Lord is not seeing? So many bad things are happening. Lord is not seeing at all. Why Lord is not seeing? So recently I went to a hospital to see our devotee in Hyderabad. I got into lift. Somehow some lift is also waiting. 15 minutes, 20 minutes I couldn't go in the lift. So much traffic. So one of our devotee called the management. Swamiji is waiting 15 minutes. You send him somewhere. So what they did is they put me in a patient lift. I got into patient lift. Patient lift, no, such a big lift. So one or two patients can come inside. I mean to say, one of the two stretchers can come inside. So I was there with the devotee. All of a sudden, in one floor, so we are in some ground floor somewhere, we got into some second floor or third floor. One all of a sudden, there is emergency, everybody should go out, they say. We are some around 20 people are there. So everybody they sent, except me. I am unfortunate. Because you are Swamiji, you stay, we will drop you. So then one stretcher they brought. With the stretcher, some 3-4 patient, one patient is there, 3-4 people are there, their relatives. And they are telling, they are waking him up, hitting that boy, the person who is in the stretcher is hitting. Get up like that, they are hitting and shouting. Then I asked what happened. Don't know, Swamiji. Morning. So I just inquiring, they were starting talking, their compounders. Morning onwards, he doesn't have any sensation. He got into coma. You know coma means? You all know, no? So coma. So you're hitting, he's not responding. You're kicking, he's not responding. Why I am saying this? This is what the condition of all the jivas. All the jivas are deeply adhanta gobir vishatam tamishram, deeply sleeping. When you are deeply sleeping, if somebody says something you are able to hear, you can't hear. If somebody gives instruction you will be able to hear, you can't hear. Because you are deeply sleeping. Jeev jago, Gaurachandra bole. Next line. Tado nidra pishachira kele. You are sleeping in the lap of Maya. Jeev jago. I came, Gaurachandra came to wake you up. This is called awakening. So all the souls in this world are sleeping. When you are sleeping deeply, whatever instruction to be given to you, you cannot understand. Lord is giving so many instructions through Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, through the Acharya, sending Acharya, everything is doing, but you are sleeping. Here, you are unable to understand. That is what is happening here. That is the reason people are not able to, Lord is not able to change you. Because you are sleeping. As he said, free will, Lord doesn't obstruct your free will. If you are sleeping, he will tell, One time, two time. No, you don't want, you want to sleep. Okay, sleep. Sleeping is habit. Okay, sleep. Nicely sleep. Pisachira kele. Sleep in the lap of Maya, no problem. That's what happens to all the devotees, all of us also. Acharya gives instruction to you. Acharya gives instructions to all the disciples. If disciple is not going to take care of these instructions, if disciple is not serious about instructions, tivrena bhakti yogena, if you are not tivra, if you are not serious, what can Acharya do? He cannot do anything. I generally give this example. If we don't follow the rules and regulations is being given by Acharya, chanting 16 rounds, coming for Mangala Arati, doing Arati, coming, attending Srimad Bhagavatam, these are all sadhana part. If you don't do all these things, who is going to lose? You are going to lose. The soul is going to lose. What is this lose? What is disadvantage? You may talk. Disadvantage you come to know after you die. When we die, there will be so many cars. I was watching one movie previous days. There was a devotee called Bhakta Tukaram. He is a devotee of Lord Panduranga. And finally, when he realized Lord, he was giving so many good instructions to his wife. This wife is not at all taking care. She is actually, what are your instructions? She is not at all, she is totally neglectful. And finally, he says one thing, tomorrow there is a Pushpaka Vimana is going to come, I am going to go to Vaikunta, why don't you join? He will say, tomorrow this time, Pushpaka Vimana comes, please wake up and come with me. But this lady, what she is doing? She is sleeping nicely, Pisachira kele, nicely sleeping. And morning Pushpaka Vimana comes, he will go, she will stay back here. Similarly, it happens to us. When you die, whoever nicely does devotional service, they will be taking to, in Pushpaka Vimana, they will be taking to Vaikunta. And you may be standing there. I also want to go, you will say. Where is your punya, sir? You don't have punya. Lord is Vajradapi Kator, Kusmavadapi Kamor. That means Lord is very, very strict or very, very katina, very, very cruel. We cannot use cruel, he is very, very strict. Vajradapi Kator. That means he is much more stricter than Vajra when it comes to the rules and regulations. And is simultaneously is softer than the lotus flower. So we have to develop this devotional characteristics, devotional attitude, devotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Then only you will go back to Krishna. Here you may say, Prabhu, I want bike, I want car, I want this, I want this. So management Prabhus give, no problem. But if you don't accumulate punya, if you don't do sadhana properly, you will not get into the boat of Krishna conscious, you will not get into the boat of Srila Prabhupada. Of course, Srila Prabhupada will be taking care of you. It's not that he leave you once you get initiated. But you have to go, you cannot come. So again, how many lives? Once you miss this boat, the opportunity, we never know what will happen to us. You may get attracted to so many things in this world. So many things you will get attracted. And especially in this world, this much happiness will be shown as this much happiness. Like we call bhutadda, magnifying lens. It will be shown in magnifying lens. So now coming to the point, why we are unable to understand. This Krishna consciousness, why you are able to understand, we will discuss in next class. Now time is over, 9:30, I am seeing 9:15. So we will discuss in next class why a jiva is unable to understand the consequences, are unable to understand the spiritual knowledge, unable to understand that is spirit, why jiva is unable to understand, and what qualifications jiva should develop to understand. These things we will discuss in next class. Do you have any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna. Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell